Hi. So if you are someone who is just starting to invest, do watch this video before you make your next move. Hello everyone and welcome back to Basics with Himang. So let me give you a little background. I started my investment journey in 2019, just before COVID had happened, and right after that, government announced complete nationwide lockdown in March 2020, and market corrected roughly by 36%. So as an investor who has been active in market, for quite some time, I would say वो टाइम काफ़ी अच्छा था फॉर एनीवन टू मेक एन एंट्री इनटू द मार्केट. सो जब मैंने पहली बार इन्वेस्टमेंट करना स्टार्ट किया था इन 2019, मेरा इन्वेस्टमेंट थीसिस था दैट आई वुड वांट टू सेलेक्ट कंपनीज इन स्पेसिफिक इंडस्ट्री जो कस्टमर्स की नीड फुलफिल कर रही हो. So if I look at that, now as a little mature investor, I would say approach was good. However, the next step, which was your stock selection method, it was not that great. So मैंने उस टाइम पे दो कंपनीज को सिलेक्ट किया था, एक थी रिटेल इंडस्ट्री से और एक थी ट्रैवल एंड टूरिज्म इंडस्ट्री से. सो रिटेल से मैंने सिलेक्ट की थी फ्यूचर रिटेल जो थी बिग बाजार, एंड ट्रैवल इंडस्ट्री से मैंने सिलेक्ट किया था कॉक्स एंड किंग. सो if I now look at this, from an investor's point of view, the kind of research which I did and the method which I followed, it was not that mature at all. And there have been a couple of learnings which I would like to share now. So a few things went bad and few things went good. So first look at what went good. First thing went good was that I started with very small amount. It was not as if मैंने अपना सारा सेविंग्स लगा दिया इन्वेस्टमेंट करने के लिए. मैंने काफ़ी स्मॉल अमाउंट से स्टार्ट किया था. And it is a learning for you guys also that whenever you are starting, start with very small amount, because point is to make you to get into the habit of investment. Second, which I believe went good was that मैंने जो कंपनी सेलेक्ट करी थी वो मैंने दो अलग अलग इंडस्ट्री सेलेक्ट करा था. एंड इस प्रोसेस को बोलते हैं डाइवर्सिफिकेशन. So it is a very important concept for investors like you and me to understand. So probably I will cover this in a separate video. अब बात करते हैं जो चीज़ें अच्छी नहीं गई थी. So what went wrong, right? So first thing which I believe did not go well was that मैंने solely जो कंपनी सेलेक्ट करी थी, I selected on the basis of brand value. I did not do any research. I did not look at the past performance. I did not analyze the company from valuation perspective. Just मेरे ब्रांड को देखा and मैंने वो कंपनी सेलेक्ट करी. So that should not have been done at all. And later on, when I actually studied these two companies, I found out that Cox and King had already filed for bankruptcy by the time I had purchased its stocks, and Future Retail had some dispute going on with existing shareholders, and it had a plan actually, an expansion plan to expand across different cities, but COVID की वजह से वो इनका plan भी नहीं हो पाया. Second thing which I believe did not go well was that I did not study the industry that I was putting my money into. So I should have looked at how the industry is performing, right? Whether it is progressing, whether it is declining, कोई major reforms हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा है industry के अंदर, what are the government's initiatives in that particular industry. So is it a growth industry or is it a decline industry? So industry का perspective is also quite important. So इसका एक study भी होना चाहिए. Whenever you are picking up stocks to invest in, so also study the industry that that particular company is operating in. It would give you an idea that how fast that company can grow. अगर कोई industry ही slow down चल रहा है economy के अंदर, then any good company, right, it won't do anything good for you or for the business. So till now, I have covered that how did I go about selecting my initial two companies, and what all things went good and what all things went bad. And I also shared my learnings with you so that you don't repeat all these mistakes again. So abhi I'm going to discuss about the top 3 mistakes that you should avoid if you're going or if you're beginning to invest. So the first mistake that I believe should be avoided is that we need to pick up growing industry. Do not pick up beaten down industry. अभी नाउ यू वुड से एंड आस्क कि हिमांग हाउ वुड वी गेट टू नो कि ये इंडस्ट्री ग्रो कर रही है या फिर ये इंडस्ट्री बीटन डाउन है. सो फॉर दैट देयर इज ओनली वन सॉल्यूशन, एंड फॉर दैट you will need to read. So go and read good platforms which are available out there, but those platforms, they need to be genuine enough, right? I'm not asking you to go and read news on or go and read articles or any publications available on Facebook or on Instagram. आई डोंट थिंक ये सब चीज़ें हेल्प करेगी आपको. So you need to first of all get into the habit of reading. So uske liye go and subscribe to various good platforms. I personally recommend one platform which is called ET, Economic Times, and there are other also. For example, Money Control is out there, right? And Financial Times it is also there. So ET के अंदर क्या होता है? So there is one section. So I love reading and going through that section on daily basis. So it shows you news industry wise. So I hope you guys are clear when I say industry, what I actually mean with that. So for instance, like just to give you an example, अब जैसे car है, right? Cars. So they fall under auto industry. Same like banks, for example, HDFC, ICICI, and other banks which are operating in India, they fall under banking industry. So there are numerous industries like this. So go and check out this section on ET, Economic Times, and there you would get to know कि हर एक industry में क्या चल रहा है अभी, like how many what reforms are actually happening, if growth is happening in that particular industry or not, is demand picking up in that industry or not, investment हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा, उसमें investment आ रहा है industry में या फिर नहीं आ रहा है. For instance, if you have been following news lately, then you would have realized that FMCG has not been doing great, right? So there has been consumption slowdown in FMCG industry, and since last couple of quarters, ये industry इतना अच्छा perform नहीं कर रही है, right? So does that make good stocks, which are there in this industry, for instance, Dabur हो गया, Nestle, HUL, does it make all these stocks bad? No. Just that उनका टाइम नहीं आया अभी, क्योंकि अगर डिमांड ही पिकअप नहीं कर रही है, so then business is not going to be flourished. और अगर business ही flourish नहीं करेगा, then you as an investor or I as an investor, it probably doesn't make sense for us to put our money, hard-earned money in that industry. Second big mistake, that we should not invest our money solely on the basis of brand value. Brand value के basis पे, I think it is not going to help us anyway. We need to do, or we need to study their financials, right? Whether it is financially stable stock, whether it is technically stable stock, past performance कैसा है, future में growth perspective कैसा है. So ये सारी चीज़ें हमें देखना पड़ेगा. अब कहाँ से देखना है, I am going to discuss in a separate video, but for the time being we need to keep this in mind. Third top mistake that we need to definitely avoid is that we should not invest blindly. We need to build our own investment style. Like, why are we going to invest this money? Is it going to be just for the case that हमको पैसा डबल करना है? So that is not investing, that is simply gambling. So हम gambling नहीं कर रहे हैं, right? We are going to invest. So we need to understand, why are we going to invest this money? Is it for, let's say, education purpose, right? Is it going to be in future that we need to buy a home? So once we have understood that, then we need to ask this question to ourselves, that how much risk we can take as an investor. And definitely we need to start small, and once we have learned our investment style, then gradually we are going to increase our investment amount. I hope you liked this video. I tried sharing my learning experiences with you all, and my motive will remain the same in this channel, that I will ensure you guys understand basics, and we are going to take this ahead in the journey, and I'm going to be helping you out with all these things. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in next video. Thank you.